It's a pretty bonus. Sounds like I'm saying pretty boner. It gave me a pretty boner. Sorry, Bethany's mom.
Jory.
On this episode of Art of the Short, Jori&Bethers get reverent. Kind of. Relive some very awkward middle school emotions and express their undying love for all those magical teachers out there that change lives.
We'd like to remind you that all episodes of Art of the Short contain explicit content and a masterful amount of spoilers. If you'd like to read the story before entering, a free link is provided in the show notes. Or if you don't give a mother whatsoever, just keep listening.
Art of the Short is an interactive literary art installation. We overextend our opinions on short stories and make art of our interpretations.
Like Jory will tie-dye all the shirts, all the socks, all the shoes in the house, string them up.
I thought you were going to say all the time, but you went with shoes?
You know, stuff like that.
Join the conversation and send us your artwork to add to the gallery. To learn how, go to artoftheshort.com and follow the installation on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Art of the Short to see what others think of this short story through their art.
Art of the Short, Art of the Short.
That was like a nice ease into it. Art of the Short. What note did you hit?
Art of the Short. I get to play it back and hear if it was the same.
Art of the Short.
It's kind of like sharp, kind of like uncomfortably sharp.
Bethers, hi.
Hi. It's like holiday season.
I know we're here. Isn't that nuts?
November is holiday season.
October is holiday season.
You know, I'm not a I'm just realizing my mother will hear this. I'm not a Thanksgiving person. I'm not Thanksgiving.
Are you saying you don't like to give? I'm not a Thanksgiving person. You emphasize the giving.
Neither thankful nor giving. Yeah, Thanksgiving isn't my number one.
I like any holiday that everyone's going to come together.
That's really cheesy.
That did sound so fucking cheesy. I'm sorry, it did. No, I do though. I like the holidays where like people cook dishes and you like share like different family traditions and like I like those holidays. So Christmas is usually like that and Thanksgiving is usually like that. Halloween is just a fucking blast and we've established that I am a natural witch. So obviously October is like where I come into my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I don't like? New Year's.
No, who does? Who?
People love it, don't they?
No, what people do you know? No, I don't know a single one. I don't know a single one.
This is a holiday podcast.
This is a holiday pod. Holiday pod.
Okay, Bethers, how are you? How was your art?
I'm well. Thanks for asking.
How? Are we going to be able to get through this episode?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like this episode is going to bring out some interesting conversations. And I got to say, I just asked you how your art was, and I'm launching into how my art was.
Yeah, no, please.
Is that okay? Let me make this about me.
You know, apparently I didn't want to talk about it. I only want to talk about holidays.
I got kind of abstract.
Interesting.
Bringing some abstract energy.
Well, I'm happy to hear abstract because I went very literal.
Oh, okay.
I went very like to the text, to the book. Take me on home.
Take me on home. That's what this story made me feel. Take me on home.
Take me on home.
I feel like you need like a cowboy hat and a straw in your mouth.
I know. I was going to say like daddy or like cowboy.
Yeah, cowboy. Yeah.
But I didn't want to say it. But then
I think you should just go ahead and say it.
Take me on home, cowboy. I don't know what's coming out.
Fuck. Okay, let's do this.
Let's do it. Roll the tape.
High five.
High five.
Oh my God. I don't know what's happening.
Those are both the craziest things we've ever said. Roll the tape and high five. We're completely insane. I feel like we've been body snatched.
I can't breathe. This week's short story is by American author, poet, and Pulitzer Prize winner Louise Erdrich. Okay, really, she's won like every award imaginable for her works of fiction and poetry. So it's no surprise that Erdrich is considered one of the most significant Native American writers in modern literature. Her style combines complex timelines where she often explores her own heritage of German and Native American roots, with themes like cultural identity and the power and limitations of tradition. However, if you were to ask Erdrich on the matter, she'd describe herself, her style, as just simply being a storyteller.
This week we read Sister Godzilla by Louise Erdrich. This is a story about a child, a youth.
I know. How do we start this story?
This is a story about Dot. She's a child.
Dot is a child.
A girl child, as far as we know.
Dot Adair is her name. Toddy Kreider.
Toddy Kreider's her classmate.
And then Sister Mary Anita Groff
as their teacher. I think they're like in 6th grade. Do you think?
I think they say they're in 6th grade. Yeah.
So definitely 6th grade energy.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, they're in class and they're meeting their new teacher.
Yeah.
And she's in traditional, I think they say Franciscan habit.
Yes.
It's really modest. So only a little bit of your face is showing. So it's not like the newer school, like kind of casual. It's like the very tight, uptight, like Sister Act style. And I think she's quite tall. And then she has like a deformity, which I don't even know if we're allowed to say deformity. I don't even know if that's like a nice thing to say or a fair thing to say, but I think that's how they describe it.
Don't they just say that she has like a larger jaw?
No, I looked it up. It's called a prognathic jaw, and it is like a problem. Oh. It's like a genetic thing that can be fixed.
Oh.
But it's like an issue. And it messes up your bite, and it's like a problem.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's recess. Well, they go to play baseball, and this new nun, Sister Mary Anita.
She's pitching,
yeah. You can tell she's got an athletic body. Like Bethany was saying, she's tall, graceful, and then there's like this talk about her having these like beautiful milky glass hands.
Beautiful hands.
Like the praying hands from like the Mother Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Her hands were beautiful. As white as milk glass, the fingers straight and tapered. They were the hands in the hallway print of Mary underneath the cross. They were the hands of the apostles, cast in plastic and lit at night on the tops of television sets. Praying hands. Ball players' hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, the kids are taken aback. Like they're judging her, they think they know what's up, and then she gets out in the field and they're like, what's this? And Dot, our protagonist, something in her gets activated and she's like, I'm going to hit this ball out of the park. But instead, she strikes out again. She's out.
Dot is out. She's like pissed.
This sends her like basically into a blind rage. I think she's a little bit of a live wire.
A little bit of a live wire. Yes. She's pissed because Sister Mary Anita was pushing her to her limits intentionally. She was playing hardball with her, literally. Dot was like, hey, why are these other little kids, like, she gave them like easy pitches and shit. Like, what the fuck's going on? She's like, what is happening? She goes back to the classroom and is like feeling all these feelings, and she's pouting and sulking at her desk.
Her and her classmate, Toddy Kreider, which, by the way, she hates him.
Yeah.
But he's in love with her.
Yes.
He's always trying to flirt with her, always trying to impress her, and she despises him.
Typical 6th grade behavior.
Literally despises him. He was like trying to make fun of her, and she leaned in and whispered, Godzilla, to describe their new teacher, and then they did start calling her Sister Godzilla instead of Sister Mary Anita.
Yeah.
She takes out a pencil and paper and starts drawing a dinosaur essentially in a nun's habit.
She's like, I'm going to get my revenge on this nun.
And Sister comes over and is like looking over her shoulder.
Yes.
And does Dot stop?
No. Nope. She's like, yes, Sister Mary Anita, I'm going to keep drawing my Godzilla in a nun habit. Thank you very much. And then she like leans back all like cocky like and is like, oh, look what we have here on my desk. Sister Mary Anita, she like snatches the paper and she's like, you're going to see me after school.
This is when honestly, a life change happens for Dot.
Totally.
Sister Mary Anita comes to her and gives her some like real truths, like some
real talk.
Adult conversation.
Yeah.
And she basically says like, Listen, I've made peace with I think she calls it a deformity, I think. But sometimes words still hurt.
Yeah.
And words like yours can still affect me. And Mary Anita says, look at me. And Dot doesn't want to.
She looked at her in her deep brown, electrically sad eyes. That's Dot to Sister Mary Anita. Dot just goes, I'm sorry. She says, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and she didn't even want to. It was like involuntary.
Dot's like, can I go now? And Sister Mary Anita's like, fuck no, you can't. She doesn't say fuck no. She's like, nope, you're going to sit here with me and we're going to like talk about this. All the other teachers told Sister Mary Anita that Dot was like a troublemaker and they were like, don't turn your back on her. Do not do it because something bad will happen. And I feel like, Sister Mary Anita is like, giving her time and energy, and she's like making her feel something, to which Dot says, I felt her feelings and I am in love with her.
Yeah, you don't see it coming. The nun says to her, I want you to understand something. I've told you how I feel.
Yes.
I expect that you will never hurt me again. Dot goes through like a physical transformation, physical, spiritual, psychic transformation.
Yes.
And she's like, oh my God, I love her.
I'm in love with her. And it's so sweet.
It's really sweet. Dot has gone through this transformation, but the classroom has not.
Yes.
They still think Sister Godzilla is really funny, and they're like saying it all the time. And now Dot feels a responsibility to protect this woman she loves.
They're in class. It's like 2 days later or something. Toddy Kreider brings this Godzilla replica. Sister Godzilla is at the chalkboard and she's,
Did you just call her Sister Godzilla?
Shit. Sister Mary Anita. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, you little Toddy Kreider.
I'm doing a Hail Mary right now.
You little Toddy Kreider.
I'm so sorry. Okay, anyway, so Sister Mary Anita is doing her like daily lessons. They've done their morning prayers, all that stuff. She's writing shit on the chalkboard.
So her back's to the classroom.
And Toddy takes this replica and it's like this little mechanical toy and he lets it loose on the floor.
And the classroom's, of course, going wild. They can't believe.
Yeah.
Dot sees it and she's mortified. She wants to protect her one true love. Like, Dot is fully committed.
At one point, she's like, I'm going to join a nunnery. I have to grow up and just live with this woman that I have to be with her. And she's like, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. Fuck. She's going to have to come live with me and my mom. That's I've solved it. She has to live with me and my mom.
Sweet. And she's like having her mom make her crappy cookies. It's so sweet. Her devotion is so intense. So in her devotion, she sees what Toddy Kreider has wrought and this toy.
And she is freaking the fuck out.
And she leaps out of her seat. She's about to try and like intervene or like grab the toy, but Sister wheels around and kicks it?
Yes. Sister Mary Anita and Dot look at each other.
Mortified.
I'll just read the last couple sentences. Inwardly, she begged the nun to turn and stop the noise. But Sister did not. She let it wash across them both without mercy. Dot lost sight of her unspeakable profile as Mary Anita looked out into the yard. Bathed in brilliant light, the nun's face went as blank as a sheet of paper, as the sky, as featureless as all things that enter heaven. Oh,
I know. Art of the short.
Art of the short. The first thing I thought when I read this was, are you trying to work some shit out with me from our childhood?
No.
I was like, okay, Bethany's going to try to like get into some stuff.
I'm not.
I felt like things were a little pointed.
Not at all. I didn't have any of those thoughts.
Okay, well, this is where my brain's been over the weekend.
Not a one.
So...
Not a one. She wrote a book called Love Medicine. That was like her most famous. It was everywhere. And it's been compared to, all of her work actually has been compared to William Faulkner. Like, sprawling multiple narratives that are kind of like set in a local history and kind of challenging.
It's not like social justice necessarily, but it's like challenging people's thinking on Indigenous cultural narratives.
For sure. Love Medicine is a really long time ago, but I just read her newest work called The Night Watchman, which won the Pulitzer Prize. So she's a Pulitzer Prize winner. And that definitely put her back on people's radar if she hadn't been.
Yeah. Okay, Bethers. I'm going to start with my likes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sister Mary Anita and her baseball skills were charming as fuck, right?
Love.
So charming. I loved that. I felt the feels when Dot is going through her excruciating realizations. Like, you feel what she's feeling. And
you can really empathize with both of them.
This story points out like the shitty teachers from the good teachers. And like Sister Anita was one of those teachers that was like, no, listen, you get a different curriculum. You get a different challenge because you're not like the other kids.
Well, and you need it.
And you need it. When those teachers find you and like show you that you're worth more than what people have given you your whole life, and you think that you know the system and you think you're going to breeze by and just be like, fuck these people, they're shitty. And then someone's like, no, I'm here to challenge you and hold a mirror up to you.
I'm going to intervene.
Yes.
Yeah. Life-changing. It can be life-changing.
Yep. Lastly, kids are fucking cruel little dicks.
Yeah, they really are.
Kids are terrible human beings.
They really are. They're cruel. Yeah, this story really gets you in touch with your own like experiences of shame.
Oh, totally.
And guilt.
That middle school age.
Well, you're just pushing it, right? You're trying to see where's the boundary. Where are the limits? Like, where have I gone too far?
And then you go, could I go farther? Yeah, I could. That was my experience.
The real gift of this story is describing what it feels like to experience empathy and what it feels like to experience shame and guilt in your own body. Like the way it's so visceral, like the descriptions.
And love for the first time,
And
though, too.
love. And
That's
love.
all complicated and confusing. And they're all awakening. You only feel the feelings. You don't understand what they mean yet.
That's right. You can't like make sense of what's happening. And it just reminded me of like my experience of the first time I ever lied.
Oh, God.
Like I have a memory of it, right? Like when you're really little, you only have memories of like real peaks.
You can remember the first time you lied?
Sure. Incredulous, you guys. She's incredulous.
Hey, I grew up in a big family. I think I was like born lying.
Well, because it was only me and two adults. Like, yeah.
No, I know. I think I just was born telling white lies to get what I wanted.
Yeah, my dad was left to supervise me, and I, for whatever reason, well, I think a lot of kids do this, took his keys and stuck them in the outlet, like the key in. I'm watching my dad look for his keys, and I'm watching him get panicked that we're getting late. And he's asking me if I've seen them. And
you're like, they're in the fucking socket, dude.
No, I make the decision to lie. Then he keeps asking, and I have to like continue lying. And I just doubled, tripled down. Listen, he found the keys, and they had melted. I felt her, like that flush of shame feeling in your cheeks where you're like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done?
I don't think I felt that feeling until I was much older, to be honest. I mean, we don't need to get into my history. I feel like we've told too many tales about my past lately. Bethany was a saint. Bethany has always been a saint until she was maybe 20. And then just the shit that we put adults through. Like, thank God for middle school teachers. Honestly, the stories are endless. I don't even think I could pick one middle school story. But then there are the other times where I feel like the actions are justified. Like,
go on.
We're like, again, 6th grade. We were in Japanese class, and our Japanese teacher was like, I'm going to give you a referral. Back then, I don't know if they still have them, but a referral was like a slip to the principal's office. Okay, so they were like serious. That was like
pretty
not
serious, yeah.
You don't fuck around with it.
Not a joke.
Not a joke. They send them home to your parents. Your grades go down, all sorts of stuff. I didn't say fuck this, but that was my attitude then. I was like, if she's going to go, then I'm going to get a referral, and I'm going to go too. Who's coming with me? And like the whole class stood up, and we all got referrals and went to the principal's office. So there was like literally like 25 kids walking down.
I do remember that. I do remember all the kids going down the hall. Yeah.
I did that like 3 or 4 times.
Oh my God.
I don't know. I was just pushing my limits so much to the point where the vice principal, he had a drawer. I'm not fucking kidding either. He had a drawer just of my referrals. And they were like 4 inches tall. And he never sent any of them home to my parents.
Oh my God.
And he sat me down and he was laughing. He thought it was funny. Like he was like, Jory, what are we going to do about this?
What do you need here?
Sister Anita'd me. And he was like, I could send these home to your parents.
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous. Like, why? I don't need to. I was a straight A student. I didn't have like anything wrong in that way. I don't know. I related a lot to Dot. Just like when you have a good teacher in your life, it changes everything. And we had
really excellent teachers. We were really lucky.
We had great teachers, especially for being kind of like a shitty middle school that like...
Absolutely. Incredible teachers.
We were such assholes.
I like how it plays with these ideas of like femininity, masculinity. Like she is playing sports and that should make her an outcast, but it also makes her accepted because she can use this body. It just like it brings up all these ideas of like how you can be accepted and why you're not accepted. And that's something that I think sixth graders are really dealing with.
Absolutely.
That stuff doesn't really go away no matter what strata you're in.
Totally. And this story was supposed to take place in the 60s, early 60s. And so to have like a female, like a powerful female figure, I know how important it was for me to have someone who was not like other quote unquote girls when I was younger, because I was not a normal quote unquote girl.
Absolutely. Dot is already been like set apart by teachers and by everyone, like as like not the average girl. She's a troublemaker and she's like pushing the limits. And so for her to have someone that can be a role model, I don't know. I just think it's really, really meaningful. And
totally.
I really enjoyed this story. When I was trying to research this story, what I found was like a plot of a novel called The Plague of Doves. And it was about a character in a school who is bisexual and in love with her teacher. I was like, well, this isn't Sister Godzilla. This is a novel.
Oh, interesting.
And then I eventually pieced together that like these shorts were published in the New Yorker and the Atlantic and in Best American Stories like over the course of years. And then she weaved them all in one big narrative.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, I love Louise Erdrich. I love the descriptions. I'm like transported away when I'm reading this. I'm like in it. Like I'm like in it. Okay. I'm going to rate it 5 out of 5 wind up toys.
How do I feel?
How do you feel?
I guess the thing is I feel a lot of things. Guys, I feel a lot of things, man. Wind up toys, is that what you said? Well, for goddamn God's sake, oh, for fuck's sake. I don't know. I feel torn.
Wow, she's struggling, you guys.
I feel torn. Okay, listen. I wanted to give it like a 3 out of 5.
Sure.
But after talking with you and really like, you know, vibing on the story. No, but I mean, I feel like I'm going to up it to 4 out of 5, but I'm not going to give it a 5 out of 5. I'm not going to do it. There was a part of me that was a little disappointed. It just didn't quench my thirst. Like they fed me salty crackers and I needed some water to drink afterwards or something. And I didn't get it. I didn't get satiated somehow. I'm being so articulate tonight. Short, baby. I'm diving right into your work.
Yeah, get in there.
You just sent me a selfie.
I did.
Bethany sent me a selfie.
I forgot that I did that.
What does it mean? Okay, so what we have here is a collage of like 60s like paraphernalia, Godzilla, there's Crayolas, there's like a Zorro poster, an etching of the Last Supper. So it's a black and white collage, so it feels very retro and of the time. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I just felt like her descriptions were so vivid and she took so much time with it.
Yeah.
So each one of those is just something that was described in the story.
Yeah.
This is like what I would imagine being in the headline of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
You know, like in the masthead of the story. Like this is what like a graphic artist would turn in.
Totally.
To publish with it. I just like, that was the challenge for my own self, was to like make something that would go to print.
Yeah.
Like this is an interesting story, an interesting perspective. So I just wanted to call that out.
Love it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up some art. We have like a really bright turquoise background. And then there's like 2 pieces of loose leaf paper. The top one says, The nun's face went as blank as a sheet of paper. It ends with as featureless as all things that enter heaven. This is like a holy piece of art. This is some religious imagery, some milky white hand imagery. Mm-hmm. And then there's a nun's head. I failed to mention there's like a black and white sketch of, looks like a mannequin almost, right? Like not super lifelike.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So like the description of her hands in the story, and then like the last image of her, I don't know what happened to me just then. The last image of her looking out into the window, I thought of those sculptures that they were talking about in the beginning of the story, like praying hands of the Mother Mary, that's that porcelain looking milk glass look. So I wanted to do something that was out of pencil and ink because that's what you would have sitting at a table in your classroom. So I didn't want to like venture out of that, and paper, obviously. The text that's on there, those were like the most haunting parts of the story to me. Like the parts that are so gut-wrenching. They come across as really subtle, but they're not. They're like so loud. It hurts.
It hurts.
I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know overall, like, how the story made me feel. I feel like a lot of conflicting things.
It feels like it brought up a lot for you. I didn't have any thoughts. I didn't think about my own middle school experience. I only thought about, like, my first flush of shame.
We didn't even get into it, but, like, religion is an interesting topic to discuss. But in this story, it's more about, like, a relationship between two people and, like, what a grown-up can make you feel and how they can change your life. And even as like a grown adult, I still feel this way. Like when someone is like a grown up around me, I'm like, oh shit, I'm scared of you for no reason. It's so stupid, but it's true.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's like their influence or whatever.
I mean, or your inexperience? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, like feeling a little intimidated or something.
I don't know what it is. But when there's like an adult, quote unquote, adult in the room, you feel it and you're like, oh shit, I gotta not act like an asshole, I guess. I don't know. That's my go-to. Don't act like an asshole, Jory. Oh my God.
On the next episode of Art of the Short, we'll be reading The Mime Artist is a Little Drunk, But That's Okay by Jonathan Cardew. As always, a free link to this short story is in our show notes for you.
And we would love to know what you think of this short story. So please go to artoftheshort.com to learn how to send us your artwork. And follow the installation on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Art of the Short. And be a part of this goddamn installation. Also, like, what happened to you in 6th grade? I want to know. I want to see your artwork.
You want to draw a dinosaur in a habit? Go right ahead.
That's all you want.
I really wanted to do it. I really
Maybe we should have. We should have just done it.
I wanted to do it.
Okay, Bethers.
Okay, bye, Jory. Thanks for walking down memory lane with me.
Oh, God. I don't know if that's memories that we want to remember. I love you, and I'll see you in a little bit. I'll see you in a while. See you next time.
See you soon.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's do it next time. We'll see you again. Let's do this again in a couple weeks.
Bye, readers. Bye, listeners. We love you.
Bye, we love you. Bye. And then I was in the timeout room, which was like basically a closet.
I never got to see it. I never had the privilege.
It was like a closet with like fluorescent lights in it to make you feel like it was a classroom, but it wasn't. It was like an 8x5 room.
Wow.
The timeout teacher gave me a graduation present when I was in 8th grade because I was there so much.